Hello and welcome to hopefully another entertaining episode of Create Simple Meals. So, the other day my daughter asked me to do this stuffed pork chop. She wanted to stuff it with some spinach and cheese and whatnot. And I was like, I don't feel like doing all that tonight. We'll push that on the back burner. So I had these center cut pork chops in the freezer that was actually getting close to about time you got to do something with them. So I said, you know what, let's go ahead and try that. So I decided to bread these things up, fry them, and take the stuffing that she wanted inside, and we're actually going to put that into a sauce and put it on top. So while you're waiting, folks, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell on YouTube. Don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram. And as my daughter say, tap into us on TikTok. For all your questions, please email me at askme@createsimplemeals.com. So for the recipe, basically what we did, we marinated off some center cut pork chops. We seasoned them up with a little bit of salt, garlic powder, oregano, black pepper, and then we poured some buttermilk on top of that, and we let that sit overnight. To the spinach sauce that we're going to do, we're basically taking a quarter cup of butter and some flour, making a very quick roux, saute some garlic off in that. We're going to add in some chicken broth, some heavy cream, and a little bit of Parmesan cheese, a little bit more garlic powder, black pepper, kosher salt, and then we're going to add the spinach into that and let it go ahead and we'll talk. But the first thing we're going to go ahead and do is start breading off these pork chops. So we already have our seasoned flour here, and there's nothing in here but some kosher salt and flour, which you've already seen on the recipe. You go ahead and get a little closer view in there and get me some gloves. So again, move these pork chops over on this side. Move this out of my way for right now, just so y'all can see better. And as you see, they've been sitting overnight in this buttermilk, and we're gonna go ahead, put them on this pan. We're gonna go ahead and take these off, and we're gonna put these in this flour. You know, let me grab me another glove. Y'all know the rule: one dry hand, one wet hand. Whenever you dealing with batter like this. So take this, and you want to get a real good coating of flour on here. I guess I should have got a different color vessel, because this white on white kind of hard to see. But trust me, we're going to go ahead and get all this really baked or packed onto it. And actually, you know what I might do? Ain't no might in it. I'm going to double crust these. I'm going to let these rest for just a second. And we're only doing 10 of these, folks. We ain't going to be here all day, thankfully. We go ahead and mix them off in there. And I'm going to let these. Now what I mean by double crust, because I want a really good crust on here so it stand up to that sauce. So after I'm done breading these, I'm going to put them back in this flour and let that give us a thicker crust. Okay. And I think we got 2 or 3 more in here. So what you're going to do, because this is actually, and as you see these pork chops, they're not that big at all. So it's actually, you're going to put 2 on a plate. So basically the spinach topping, or you can put it on the side if you don't want to put it on the top. But it's all going to be a one plate or one, y'all know what I'm saying, one topping type meals. No separate sides. Let's put it like that, for lack of a more eloquent way of saying it. All right, now we got that done. I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna dip it right back in there, and I'm gonna put it right back in this flour, and that's what I mean by the double crust. So as you see now, it's starting to build up a whole lot more on there. We're gonna go ahead and got to put this back in there, back into the buttermilk. Keep your, now my driest hand, not necessarily my dry hand, roll it around again. All right. Couple of more, folks. Couple of more. And as always, folks, this show is brought to you by the Self-Employed Tax Guy and Self-Lodge Planning. So for all your group travel needs, please hit up Self-Lodge Planning, and your individual travel needs for that matter. And for all your business consultation needs and your tax preparation needs, please hit up the Self-Employed Tax Guy. It's actually we've been talking about doing a joint show together, but our schedules have been kind of getting tied up. But we will be doing a show and inviting some of you, the viewing audience, so that A, you can learn how to cook and have some business practices, get some business lessons all in one. All right, 2 more, folks, and then we're gonna move on to the fryer and start making this sauce. Now, if you make up your flour and you start seeing that it's getting low, my rule of thumb that it works for me is 1 tablespoon of salt for every cup of flour. So if you see your flour is getting kind of crackety like it is right now, luckily I'm at the end, just grab you another cup of flour, add a tablespoon of salt to it, mix that up real fast, and add it on into your batter. All right, so we are now done with that, folks. And now we're gonna go ahead, put these in the fryer, and then we're gonna go ahead and making this sauce. Make sure my oil, so let me get this oil back up just a little bit. And we're gonna go ahead and start cleaning this up out of our way for right now. Ain't gonna need that. In the meantime, go ahead and start this up. All right, folks, so you basically got that butter in there and some minced garlic. We're going to take to that, we're going to add in our flour and whisk that in. And you basically make sure you're making a nice little roux. Y'all seen me do this several times on the show. Just a nice, quick roux while we're waiting for that oil to get hot. To that, we're going to add in, now I'm going to tell you, I'm actually adding in some, mix this up a little bit. I'm actually going to add in mushrooms because my daughter asked me to. We're going to put a little mushrooms in our sauce, but the recipe does not actually have that on there. Go ahead and keep mixing this up some. That was about a cup. And can y'all get letting that just come on together. Now, folks, we're going to add in some heavy cream into this. So add in, as the recipe says, maybe about a half a cup, quarter cup or so. I'm kind of going to eyeball this. We're going to keep on letting that thicken up and cook down. Now while that's simmering, I'm going to go ahead and start dropping in these pork chops. And you want to kind of keep these things as flat as you can, just for presentation purposes. We're going to let them go ahead and dance over there for a while we turn this down. We're going to let them dance. We're going to continue on with our sauce. So that's thickened up quite nicely there. Actually, I'm going to add in just a little bit more of this broth to thin it out some. And we're going to add in some Parmesan cheese. So I know some of y'all may think that green can of cheese is sufficient. No, it's not. Please just go ahead and get you some grated Parmesan cheese. It ain't necessarily got, some of you got grate already, but they sell already grated Parmesan cheese. To me, that powdered cheese just ain't gonna work the best when you're trying to make a sauce like this. We're gonna go ahead and let that melt down so can I get a better shot in there for you. And if the sauce actually starts to get a little bit too thick for your liking, that's why you keep you some extra broth on hand. Just keep on thinning it out to your liking. So like I'm gonna go ahead and thin this out just a little bit more. And then let's go ahead and give this a taste test so we can see just about how much salt we want to add into it. So you see that's going to be real. Yeah, I like that sauce, but I'm definitely going to thin it out. I think I'm going to add in almost all of that in there. We're going to add in just a little bit garlic. Just a smidge or two, about a half a teaspoon of black pepper. And I frankly don't think I need any salt right now. Just that in a minute after it cooks down. But let's also go ahead and add in. Now, the recipe does not call for the mushrooms. When I first designed the recipe, I was actually going to put sun-dried tomatoes in it. But I got to the store, and mushrooms, got to the store, didn't think about it. Then my daughter was like, Dad, put the mushrooms in. So I'm like, all right, we're going to go ahead and put these in there. But you can actually do whatever topping you want with the sauce. The Parmesan and the cream is the basis of it. From there, you play with it and do whatever your heart desires with it. Let me go ahead and check on these pork chops. And as always, folks, you know I like my thermometers. I love my gadgets. Pork is done at roughly 165 degrees. You know me, I like to take it out just about 5 degrees or so earlier because that residual heat is going to start keep cooking it. So let's go ahead over here and see what it's actually at. Oh yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and remove these out. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and let them sit down and rest for a minute, and we're gonna go ahead and finish up this sauce. I want to get that just a little bit thicker because I probably thinned it out a little bit too much, but cheese is our friend. All right, bring this up to a slow boil. Make sure this fire is completely off. Again, folks, please, while you're sitting here watching this sauce boil, don't forget to subscribe to that YouTube channel. Hit that notification bell. As always, like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram. And we got a new one. Tap into us on TikTok. And for any questions that you have, please do not hesitate to send me an email at askme@createsimplemeals.com. Also on the website, there is a message feature. So if you go on that page, you can send me a message, and I will get notified pretty instantly, and I'll reply as time permits. But if you just happen to be in a jam and you need something within the next, 20-30 minutes answered, use that messaging feature. I'm pretty good at responding when I can. Clean this up just a little. We can get off some of this out of our way. We're going to go ahead and grab this spinach and thaw this out. All right, let's grab this spinach, folks. We're just going to put this in there until it begins to wilt. I think I'm going to put probably more than need because it is going to wilt down tremendously. Let's start cleaning up a little bit so we can have us a place to show off this culinary masterpiece. As always, folks, this show is brought to you by the Self-Employed Tax Guy and Self-Lodge Planning. So please, for all your business consultation needs and also your tax purposes, please hit up the Self-Employed Tax Guys, a tax prep company that was built from the ground up just for you. And for all your fraternal, church, family reunions, group travel, and individual channel, please allow Self-Lodge Planning to be of assistance. Email us at travel@phillipslife.net, or you can find us also on Facebook. It seems like we're starting to loosen up on these restrictions now, so we're going to start to get back to traveling soon. All right, we go turn this down just a smidge, like it's trying to scorch on us there. So as you see, we basically just wilting that all the way down. Once that's done, that's pretty much it, folks. We can go ahead and shut this heat off. We're going to let that continue wilting down. I'm going to move this out of my way for a second. Grab me a plate. Gonna grab us 2 pork chops here and grab us a little bit of this sauce. See, can I make my cousin proud with my plating? Probably not. Go ahead and put a little bit more of that on there. And basically, folks, that is it. Again, just to recap, what we did was we marinated off some pork chops and some kosher salt. We seasoned it up with some kosher salt, garlic powder, oregano, a little bit of black pepper. We poured some buttermilk over that and let that sit overnight. We then dredged that in some seasoned flour, and we deep fried those off. We then took some butter and flour, made us a quick roux with some minced garlic. Added to that some heavy cream, some Parmesan cheese, a little bit garlic powder, black pepper, kosher salt. Put some spinach in that and wilted it, and then we put that on top of it. Now we're going to go ahead and give this a taste test. I guess I should have brought a fork. We're going to go ahead and use this spoon we have here. That's amazing. That is amazing. I'm going to have to hold this down a little bit. It's my plate, don't really matter. I ain't bringing a knife out here. But that is amazing. Now, I will tell you this, folks. Be careful with the salt, because that's why I didn't put any salt in the sauce. Because with the seasoned batter and in pork already, it's kind of has a level of saltiness to it already. This Parmesan cheese, trust me, be very light-handed with your salt. I can see how if you get a little bit too heavy-handed, this can be salty, but I'm going to tell you now, I like it. As a matter of fact, I love it. Sorry about that. But as you see, very quick show, very simple recipe. Didn't take a whole lot to do, because right here on Create Simple Meals, we don't do complicated meals. We do simple meals. So just recapping, we took us some center cut pork chops. We seasoned them off with salt, pepper, garlic, a little bit of oregano. Pour some buttermilk over that. Let that sit overnight. Get it all nice and tender. Then today we sit there and we dredged it in some seasoned flour, just flour and salt. Deep fried those off so they hit an internal temperature of about 165. Then for our sauce, we made a quick roux of some butter and flour, a little bit of minced garlic. Mixed that all together. Added in a little bit of chicken broth. Added in some heavy cream and some Parmesan cheese, a little black pepper, and some more garlic seasoning. Just to be a little bit different today, we put in some mushrooms. You can play with this sauce if you want to. And we poured that right on top of our fried pork chops. And there you have it, folks. If you don't want to put it on top, you can put it on the side. But remember, when it comes to cooking, we only have 3 rules. Must have passion, you must have patience, and you must be willing to practice. So remember, folks, Keep those 3 rules. And as always, please subscribe to us on YouTube. Click that notification bell. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram. Tap into us on TikTok. And if you have any questions whatsoever, send me an email to askme@createsimplemeals.com. If you're on our website, there is a messaging feature. Send me a message and I'll try to get back to you within the hour. And there it is. Until next time, folks. Next week, remember, again, those 3 rules: passion, patience, and practice. Please stay tuned and follow us on, or stay tuned into our webpage for all of our recipes and all of our videos. See you again next week, folks.